What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We appreciate you being here. Today, we're really diving deep into our Mount Everest goals and kind of our plan to accomplish these massive goals in affordable housing. With me, as always, is my partner, my friend, Mike Oakes. How you doing, Mike?
What's going on, everybody? Pleasure to be here as always. Happy to get into some really fun stuff today with y'all.
Yeah, 100%, Mike. And I think this first point that we're going to talk about is mentorship, right? Right off the bat, Mike and I really believe in investing in ourselves. When you put yourself in the right room, your network becomes your net worth. And so that's been our goal. And Mike, I'd love to know more about your take on this. What does mentorship mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, when we first started out, it wasn't really something that we were, I guess, looking for, interested in. We thought we could do this on our own. We had some success, obviously, but then we joined Owners Club while we were there. We were going to join a community anyway. You guys have heard the story when we were at Squat Up Summit. But but if you haven't seen that story, go back. You'll find it. Deep dive into our stuff. You'll see it. But we stood up right in the middle of his speech. Pace's speech went in and said, we got to do something to give ourselves an edge, joining a community of people that are action takers and people that are actually getting something done is exactly what we were looking for. And we got the pleasure and opportunity to have access to like the Pickles boys. Those guys are great. We've met Chino, we have access to Pace, Jamil, multiple times a year. We get to have their like phone numbers to reach out to them. So it's pretty cool. So yeah, I think it's really important. You just get tools and access that you wouldn't get otherwise, What about you, Paul? What do you think?
I think this is everything. Like, I think the filter is what really helps us here, right? Whenever there's like, hey, you have to pay this much money to get into this room, it filters out a lot of the people that aren't action takers. And then to your point, dude, having a directory of everybody that's in this filtered out room where you can email them, you can call them, you can text them, follow them on their social media, you can interact with them, see what they do. I mean, it's perfect for business. It's like the ideal community. It gives us such an I would honestly say a cheat code. It's like an advantage, because it's like, hey, somebody brings a deal to you in Dallas, Texas, right? And you're like, wow, I've never done a deal in Dallas, Texas. Let me go hit up whoever is in Dallas, Texas from Owners Club. I already know what they're about. I already know how they operate inside the community. So it's so much easier than trying to figure it out and be in these Facebook groups and people trying to, you know, essentially daisy chain these deals. It just gets so frustrating. So yeah, it's a great filtering out, and mentorship is everything for us, at least in my opinion.
Absolutely. And like we've seen it before where we've put a deal in those Facebook groups and people are copying our deal, like adding stuff on top of it. So be on the lookout. Make sure you're like checking on your ads if you are marketing on Facebook and Craigslist and what have you, because there might be people trying to, daisy chain your deal that it seems great, but they're overpricing your deal maybe because we've seen it. So, yeah.
That's so
Love it,
annoying,
Paul.
dude. Mike and I had a deal where we had it posted for like a $20,000 assignment. It made sense based on the cash flow. It was a sub 2 deal rate, great interest rate. We were at like 2%. We were really ecstatic about it. And then we had a few people just send us screenshots of somebody putting 20,000 on top of our 20,000. And now they've got this great deal that makes sense at 20K, but sucks at 40K, obviously. So yeah, it's just little things like that where if you can skip past all the BS and all the lessons that you need to learn and just go right to the action takers, it makes life 10 times easier. So if you're just starting out, I would save up some money. I'd work however you need to and invest in yourself. If that's going to meetups, free meetups, if that's all you can afford, go to those, meet some great people and just talk to the people that are action takers and whatever you want to do.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like you said, Paul, if you don't have the funds to be able to invest in sub two, Gator, top tier TC, any of the other type of communities that are out there, Astro Flippers, all those guys like Jamil Paces, Jerry's. I mean, the list goes on and on. Depending on what you want, do your research, obviously, because sorry to say this, Owners Club's closed. Like you're gonna have to wait till Squat Up Summit for a very, very small amount of spots, like even less than what is already out there for Owners Club. So, sorry to say, you can't join Owners Club. Well, maybe a select few of you can, but yeah, join a community. You'll learn more. They'll have modules for you to learn and go through, even certifications. Like I know Sub 2 has certain certifications, Gator, all that. So, yeah. And they're people just like us. Want to get better, get 1% better every day. So, it's the worst thing can happen. You improve a little bit, can't get any worse.
I had a great mentor in high school one day tell me, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." And it's so true that like you become the the offspring of your five closest, six closest friends. And so if you're always surrounding yourself with these great, like-minded individuals that want to always do better, they want to do right by the community, you know, you can never lose. And you'll turn into those people if you're not already that person. You'll start operating at a higher level because they're operating at a higher level. But if you're always hanging around the same people, doing the same thing, talking about the same old thing, your life will be just that, the same old thing. So I just want to talk about kind of going into some personal stuff. We had some updates in our personal life. Um, my family and I moved down to Florida, where my wife got out of the Air Force, and we're finally starting to get settled. We moved really close to some family down here, and so yeah. On the personal side, I just want to say that thanks to everybody that's been reaching out. I had a lot of people that are like, "Bro, you're in Florida. You need to connect with my guy," or "This is my girl. She's the best at this and that." And so I really appreciate everybody that's been reaching out. And yeah, we're getting settled down here in Tampa, Florida. So thanks for everybody that's been reaching out.
Love that, dude. And the house looks great. I'm super pumped for you guys to, be back in the South and get comfortable living that warmth life that I get to live every day with you. But yeah, not too much on the personal end for me, just rocking and rolling away at the business, playing some golf here and there. But yeah, one question I had for you on that last bit you were talking about, that wasn't Mr. Torso, was it, that said that to you?
Mr.
The
Torso.
quote. Yeah, who was the teacher? Which one?
Oh, that was hey, shout out to my friend, my coach, my mentor. Um, that was Mr. Duggar. He was my football
Duggar.
coach, and then he was also my astronomy teacher. I think he taught me like early science in like ninth or 10th grade as well. But yeah,
Yeah, what a guy.
love that guy.
Legend, dude.
Yeah, Mr.
Legend.
Duggar.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. Duggar, man. Awesome guy. And it was so true. Like in high school, all I wanted to do is hang out with the guys and the gals that were funny. I wanted to be around people that are always making jokes and laughing. And that didn't do great for me when it came to the grades. And so, yeah, I took his advice and I started to apply it as an adult, and wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Mr. Duggar's advice. So, thank you.
Shout out, Mr. Dagger. I love that. I guess we'll kind of segue into a different part now. We're going to talk about some underwriting. The biggest, most important thing that we do as real estate investors. Paul, what is the most important thing that we can do as a real estate investor? It's how do we make the most money when we get a deal?
You make the most money on the buy, not the sell, right? So,
Got that?
if you guys are not doing the right underwriting process, you're going to potentially lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more. And so I think the biggest thing is, number one, you need to get around people that are doing the deals, right? People that understand how to do it because they've done it. They have the experience. So go talk to them In our case, we linked up with Alex Roshke at the Squad Up Summit. He was just starting out as a gator, but he was training under some amazing people like Jason Park and all these elite gators. And so we just teamed up with him. We were like, hey, we'll teach you all that we know. You teach us all that you know. We can put it together and make an amazing product for everybody. So, yeah, man, I would say underwriting is so important. It doesn't matter if it's on the single family side, on the multifamily side, commercial deals. You have to know your numbers. Like, and Mike, you're the perfect person to talk about this because you are the
Yeah.
numbers guy in our company. So break us down. Like, give us a couple
Yeah.
steps on how you're evaluating, some houses or something.
So for a single family house, anything that we're trying to take down, obviously we can, as long as the ARV supports, which for anybody who doesn't know what ARV is, after repair value, or some people in our company like to say after rejuvenation value, but I don't know why, but so you try to keep that on the 3 to 5 of your closest comparables in like a half a mile, like in the same type of neighborhood, same like apples to apples on the same tree, like from the same seed. And the closer you can get to your exact specific subject property, the one you're trying to buy or, wholesale or take down creatively, whatever you're about to do with it, you have to make sure that it actually supports that. Like it's not just out of thin air. Like we're not just guessing out here, folks. Like we have data that we make sure it supports it. We have a calculator that we've gotten from a friend that we've turned into like something that we personally use here, and we're still dialing it in. So soon, once we have something, it'll be free that we'll post out to everybody that if you watch our stuff, you can use it to start your wholesale or creative finance journey. And our main thing, cash to seller, 5% of the total purchase price. That I cannot stress that enough, people. If you get it higher than that, you leave yourself little to no room for you to make money if you don't want to take it down yourself. I would like to stress that again. You little to no money if you go anything above cash to seller 5%.
Yeah. And Pace Morby says it best. It's like whenever you're evaluating a deal, you got to know number one, does it cash flow, right? If it cash flows, great. How much? And for us, we like to at least get a minimum of $450. We try to really aim for like 1,000, right? And then we can kind of work back from there, give us a little bit of a cushion. But yeah, you got to understand that some of these deals just aren't right for the seller, right? And just because they're on a sharp timeline, they need a quick turnaround with the sell. It doesn't always mean that we're a good fit. And so you have to know how to evaluate all these things ahead of getting under contract before you put anything in writing, because you want to make sure that you're providing a solution that makes sense for the seller, right? Whether that seller's selling a 2,000 square foot single family home or it's a 1,000 unit multifamily, like that seller has a language that you have to speak to them. And I think that's what we do really well is we just try to come up with something that makes sense for everybody. And does it cash flow? That's the biggest thing, right? And then, okay, does it have a great interest rate? How much equity do they have? Like, all these things, you need to really understand your seller, and then you'll be able to effectively underwrite the deal. So I think what Mike and I are going to do, and if you guys are interested, let us know. We're going to do a 2-day mastermind on this kind of thing. All right. And I think we kind of peel back all the layers, the onion layers, and we show you guys how to effectively underwrite, at least from our perspective. We work with a lot of great people that underwrite these deals. Some are in Astro, some are in Sub 2. And so I would love to show you guys that. Mike, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I would love to get the people's feedback. Would you guys attend this? When do you think you would be interested? Like, what time of year would you want to go to an event like this? We can do it either here, South Carolina. We can go to Florida for Paul. We could go somewhere else. So It's not going to be some squat up summit thing, but it's the first one we're going to do. But let us know if you'd be interested. It's something we've been trying to build and push towards for a while. So yeah, Paul, I love it, dude. Thanks for giving us that push to get it started, baby.
Yeah, and I think honestly, dude, we do it online. We can have people attend from anywhere.
Even better.
You know what I mean? Anybody
Even
can
better.
tune in. We'll do it on a time that makes
No
sense.
excuses.
Yeah, exactly. You can be anywhere in the
Yeah,
world. You just gotta tune in with us. We'll show you everything we do for
absolutely.
underwriting. So
Yeah, I'm so down. We'll build it, and then once we have it ready, folks, once we get enough of y'all interested, we'll get it happening. I love that though, Paul.
absolutely. All right. So be on the lookout for that. Let us know what you guys want. Drop us some comments, do some DMs here. Let us know what you guys want to see, and we'll continue to provide value in any way that we can.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. Well, folks, I think that's really all we got for you today. If you have any comments, questions, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, like we always say every week. Paul, you got anything else for these fine young people or old people, whoever, whatever age you are, whoever you are watching? Any more words of wisdom for these folks?
You'll never lose if you don't quit.
Have a great night, folks. We'll see you next week.